What's poppin', everybody? Cerebral24. Today we're going to be looking at the cards from Tack Bolt, our upcoming Sun and Moon set. This will be Sun and Moon 9, our 9th set. It's going to be the Kanto themed one, focused on the Kanto region. We've had these regional sets right now, starting with Ultra Prism. And this one is to go with Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, of course. Most of the time when a video game does come out, the set around when that video game comes out, they have something to do with it. That's what happened with Auras, happened with X and Y, what have you. I feel like they kind of missed the mark a bit. They probably would have wanted this to release when Lost Thunder got released. Like, this should have been released in the place of Lost Thunder, and then Lost Thunder get released after Tack Bolt. But I think that's what happened with X and Y too. The X and Y video games came out, and then we got the TCG set a couple of months afterwards. But anyway, we've got a lot of cards to talk about, and we have a big one to talk about already. The first one, it's going to be for this new concept that they're going to be introducing, the Tag Team GX Pokemon. Now, when Zekrom and the Pikachu, the original Tag Team GX Pokemon that got announced during the World Championship, I believe, I did have an awesome video, but unfortunately, I got lost. You guys are never going to be able to see it. It always pissed me off. It's always going to piss me off, but whatever. But the gist of it, what that video was, is that these Pokemon, they have a lot, extremely high HP. The interaction with Max Potion is probably going to be really broken, but they give 3 prizes when they get knocked out, and that can be pretty tricky. Now, for example, Zekrom being weak to fighting, Zekrom Pikachu, and this one being weak to fire, let's say. If your opponent gets to take advantage of weakness, then, losing 3 prizes like that can be pretty devastating. So the way I feel like these cards are going to be used, if they're not used in a specific deck focused on them, the best way is to be used when your opponent has 2 or 1 prizes left, then you use this, and hopefully you kind of have to make them get an extra 1 or 2 prizes sort of thing. Take advantage of all the high HP. But we've got Venusaur and Celebi here, Celebi and Venusaur GX, and they've got 3 attacks, and this one isn't so great, I'd say. This one has Pollen Hazard for 3 energies, it does 50, and then your opponent's active Pokemon is burned, confused, and poisoned. I guess it's not bad. You can combine this with the survivors from Burning Shadows. You can use this with other Pokemon. Maybe not a good idea to pair this up with the Infernape, since it's stage 2 as well. But triple status, it's kind of interesting. I'm not sure doing 50 for 3 is that much, but I guess it's triple status. It's technically going to be 80, I guess, with the burn and poison, and then you can increase the damage from there, I guess. Then it has Solar Beam, a 4 energy attack that does straight 150. It's not really that impressive, to be honest. It really isn't that impressive, but I guess it's just a solid high damaging attack with no cost. Okay. And then Evergreen GX, what they're going to do with these Pokemon is they do this sort of plus thing as well, where if they have extra energies, not just to meet the energy cost for the attack, it gets even more effects. So in this case, Evergreen GX, you heal all damage from this Pokemon, and if this Pokemon has at least 1 extra grass energy attached to it, in addition to, the 4 to make the cost, then you shuffle all cards from your discard pile into the deck. Now, that isn't a powerful effect if we've learned anything from Lysander's trump card. So that's definitely powerful. You're going to do 180 damage, and with the 5th energy, getting that additional effect, might not be too bad. You get access to all of your cards once again, and that could get really broken. Of course, it's a GX attack, so it's not going to create loops like you could do with the VS Seeker and Lysander's trump card and make the game go forever in a way, maybe. Or, yeah, you have infinite cards you're never going to deck out. But it's powerful. 270 HP, it's definitely a big guy. He's not small, that's for sure. But fire Pokemon, of course, all you have to do is like do 140, and with the weakness, that's 280, you take care of this Pokemon. So you really got to be careful. These Pokemon, Tag Team GX Pokemon, are going to be high risk, high reward for sure. The Max Potion and the Acerola Shenanigans are going to be very powerful combined with these Pokemon. They have a lot of have very high HP, of course, and there's ways that they can become sort of too much, but the price to pay is big as well. Losing 3 prize cards, it means that your opponent needs to knock out 2 of these Pokemon and then they win. So you really got to be careful. Okay, so this is Venusaur GX, so not bad. We've got some grass support, I guess. You can even combine this with the Venusaur from Shining Legends so that you can make the attack costs much simpler, actually, and do straight up 150 easily. So it's not bad. It's not exactly a bad Pokemon, but it's kind of hard to gauge. We got to look at more of the Tag Team GXs, but it's solid, I guess. We have a lot of grass support. You can even use the Shuckle from Lost Thunder, power this guy up that way. Many different ways to run a card like this. It has a lot of options. Okay. Next up, we got the Weedle and Beedrill family. What's up, guys? And this one is a 40 HP Weedle. Not really that impressive. It doesn't really do anything special from what I see. Next up, we got a 50 HP one. This one seems bad as well, doing 20 for 1 and then you hurt yourself. Okay, so far so bad. Kakuna has Grass Shield. If this Pokemon has any grass energy attached to it, it receives 30 less damage. Okay, I guess that can be handy, but stage 1 with 80 HP. Not so good. And then Beedrill. What you doing? 130 HP is kind of weak these days. 1 retreat cost. You got Destiny Bond Needle. What a name. This Pokemon has any damage counters on it. Both active Pokemon are knocked out. Wow, okay. So basically, if you have any damage on, then you can just knock this Pokemon out and knock out one of your opponent's Pokemon. So this reminds me kind of an old Electrode card from EX Hidden Legends that had this sort of explosion type of attack. It can be useful, especially if you trade this sort of Pokemon for a Tag Team GX or just a regular GX, but you still like give your opponent a prize on your turn, so it's not so great. And Reckless Charge, 90 for 1 DC, and this Pokemon does 10 damage to itself. There's probably better stage 2 grass Pokemon, honestly, but you know, Beedrill cards recently, it just seems like every Beedrill card that comes out does some funky things like this, where instant knockout and stuff. I guess it's a B. Whatever. Then we got Paris and Parasect. Do you do anything? Nope, you don't. And when it comes to these set reviews, guys, I like to look at every single card, make it a complete set review. So this is going to be like at least an hour long, maybe even longer. So we got Parasect, 100 HP. It's got Panic Spore as long as this Pokemon is in play. Each time your opponent receives damage from Confusion, you put 2 damage counters on it instead of 1. And Mysterious Power, flip a coin if hits your opponent's active Pokemon is not confused. But this is a weak attack. 30 for 2 is unimpressive by all means compared to what other Pokemon can do. And you know, the Confusion, usually a Pokemon that's confused never sticks around. It's very few situations where your opponent risks it and attacks. It's only when they know that, okay, I have no other better play, and if I hit myself, it's not that big of a deal, but if I attack and I get a knockout, it's a much better situation for me. So that's the only times with the attack, but usually when your opponent gets confused, they find a way to play around the confusion. They don't attack while they're confused. So, not a good Pokemon, I'd say. Then we got an Execute, and I hope to God, okay, thank God it doesn't have any fucking abilities like the Execute from the Plasma Freeze set. So Bullet Seed, I guess you can do a lot of damage if you flip a lot of heads using the concept art for Execute. Okay, and we've been having a lot of Execute and Executor cards recently. Let's look at Pinsir next. So what do? You got 120 HP, solid. Grip and Squeeze. The defending Pokemon can retreat on your opponent's next turn. 30 for 2 though, it's not strong. I would have rather it did like 30 for 1 and had this can't retreat cost. That would have been fair these days. And Guillotine Hug, another interesting name. You flip 2 coins. If both are heads, instant knockout. Okay, so the double coin flip is rough, of course. That's why they included it on such a strong effect. But you gotta keep in mind that the Victini from Guardians Rising is around. So if you combine it with that and you really want to try and get lucky, maybe you can get some cheap knockouts with this. Just some happy-go-lucky hack stuff, I guess, not really serious competitive stuff. And we got Charmander and, yeah, we got the Charizard line here too. Interesting. And this guy, not really special. Wait, though. Retaliate. This is a rage attack, actually. So you do 20 damage for each damage counter on this Pokemon times 20. Now that's pretty strong. You can actually use... we don't have a memory berry, but we do have the memory energy, and you can use that, I guess. Times 20 is strong. So basically, if you have like 100 damage counters on a Charizard, you can do 200 damage with this attack. Not bad. So this is a Charmander to keep in mind. And this is the, I guess, the more typical Charmander. It's going to have higher HP and have a better attack, I guess, but no fancy effect. Discard an energy and you do 30 for 1. Not bad. 70 HP. And then we got Charmeleon looking pretty fly here. This really reminds me of the Charmeleon episode with, I think it was, yeah, when it was trying to make Charmeleon, make Charmeleon kind of listen to him. Cool stuff. A Farfang, just as 30, nothing else. And then the Charizard here, I know it's kind of interesting. They're trying to make Charizard cards good these days because this guy's self-sufficient. It's got 150 HP. Good enough, it's respectable. True retreat cost, okay. And Fierce Drive. Once during your turn, you may put 2 damage counters on this Pokemon. And if you do, you search your deck for 2 fire energy. Attach them to this Pokemon. So the damage counter effect is rough because then it's like you're at 130 already. So I wish it had at least 160 HP or even 170 if it was going to be a little bit busted. Make it a little bit good so it's actually screams try me and I might be good. But 150 HP, it means once you use this effect, you're at 130. That's not so good. But of course, it's good. You get the fire energies, and then you can instantly power up your own attack. Continuous Blaze Ball. You discard all fire energy attached to this Pokemon. This attack is going to do 50 more damage for each card you discarded. So basically, what this attack does is 130 for 2 if you don't manually attach any other energy, and if you attach one more, you're at 180. Slap a Choice Band too. So basically, Choice Band. You use the ability and 1 manual fire energy attachment. You get knockouts on Stage 1 GX Pokemon. So I feel like it still has a lot of potential. It's definitely not a useless Pokemon. I mean, it can definitely get one-hit knockouts, doing less work than something like Empoleon from Ultra Prism. So this might be pretty cool. You can actually use the ability for all sorts of things. I mean, I guess you can even use this with something like Blazefalon, just get the fire energy in play and then move it around with other ways, all sorts of stuff. Powerful energy acceleration like this, it's always useful. So an excellent Charizard, I'd say. A few tiny things, however, and I think it would have been even better. Like more HP, having like a fighting resistance, Charizard usually has. Nevertheless, great card. This is definitely a card that I want to try out if I can get it. Ever. Yeah, I always have trouble getting the cards. Definitely. Great stage 2. Then we have a regular Vulpix and Ninetales. It seems like forever since I've seen you guys. Now with a lone Ninetales. Okay, this Vulpix doesn't do much. Let's look at Ninetales. What do you do, my beloved Ninetales? Also has an ability, Invitation. Once during your turn before you attack, you may discard 2 fire energy from your hand. If you do, switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon with their active Pokemon. Very, very, very good. Fire decks could definitely make great use of this. You discard 2 fire energy and then it becomes basically Lycanroc's Bloodthirsty Eyes, and you can do this every turn. This can be pretty handy. The attack is kind of solid too, I guess. Fire energy and a DCA, you can do 90. That's respectable, I suppose. One retreat cost, 100 HP is solid. So, a good card. It's too bad something like Blaziken is a stage 2, so wanting to have this around to be a discard outlet and, you know, may force your opponent to promote some, to basically pull something. You don't force them, you get to choose. Is rough. It's kind of too bad, but other fire decks could definitely make use of this. Blazeflon perhaps could make use of this. You never know. Great card. Okay, so far we're kind of looking good. The fire Pokemon seem pretty strong at the very least. We got a Ponyta. You don't do anything either, but let's look at Rapidash. It's been a while since we've seen a Rapidash card, I think. Searing Flame, 20 for 1, and your opponent's active Pokemon is burned. Okay, I guess. Not bad for a first attack. And then Agility, 60 for 2. Flip a coin, and it's probably, yeah, if you get heads, you become invincible. That sort of effect. Okay, not so amazing, but I mean, at least it does. The damage is a little bit good, I guess. 60 for 2. Usually, Pokemon that have this agility effect usually do like 30 for 2, and that always sucks. I'm thinking of you, Swellow. We have another Moltres card. Alright. It's got Top Burner. Discard all energy attached to this Pokemon. For each card discarded this way, discard the top card of your opponent's deck. So this is a deck out dude. And I really don't like stuff like this, but I guess you gotta discard a bunch of energies to make this be good. Kind of reminds me of that shitty McMortar from maybe Triumphant or Undaunted, one of those two sets. Or I think it's either Unleashed or Triumphant. I don't remember. Anyway. And we got Fire Spin. Now this is an attack I really dig. You do 180 for 4 and you discard 3 energies from this Pokemon. Sweet. This is really, really sweet. Now, this basically seems like, oh, it's just basically a weaker attack than the Shining Rayquaza. You know, Shining Rayquaza didn't do much shit. How the fuck is this Pokemon going to do anything? I might not do much in Standard, but let me tell you, I'm definitely going to love using this in Expanded with my Raybor deck, my good old Emboar. With 180, you knock out a lot of things without any add-ons, and yeah, if you slap like a Choice Band or something else, you're golden. You will get knockouts. Its stats are pretty good. 120 HP and a fighting resistance is nice. Only 2 retreat cost, so it's even better than Shining Rayquaza's 3. Looking pretty fly, of course. Moltres, always cool. Very, very nice Moltres card. I'm really glad they finally printed a Moltres card I can actually get behind completely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. I'm really looking forward to using this card. Great. I mean, you can use this, like, you can even use this in any deck with Fire Energy Acceleration. This is always a respectable attack. Like when you do a number, you perform a number like this. It's always something to consider. So great. So the far Pokemon are really fly in this set. Alright, then we got our next Tag Team GX Pokemon, and it's gonna be fucking Wailord GX combined with Magikarp. It seems like this Wailord is trying to eat this Magikarp, and I don't know, like this Magikarp seems pretty big, considering Wailord is a giant whale dude. You know, your mouth, it almost covers like a quarter of its mouth. Anyway, but as always, Wailord is a Pokemon that's going to break a record on HP, and this is a Pokemon that has 300 HP. Now this Pokemon is definitely something that's going to take advantage of cards like Max Potion. It is going to be one fucking hell of a wall. Like, I hate to see the fucking decks in Expanded new Wailord, you know, stall decks. Wailord EX was a bitch. This is going to be even a bigger bitch. So, God. Of course, you know, grass weakness is a grass weakness, so a Pokemon doing 150 damage can kill you in one hit. But it's definitely fucking high, man. And it actually has solid attack too. Super Splash, you do 180 for 5 water energy. This is a big cost, but there's actually a Pokemon that once again I can get behind using Blastoise and Expanded. We've been really lacking a good sort of Pokemon to use with Blastoise that can get one-hit knockouts like Rayquaza. And this one is pretty good. It might be pretty good. And Towering Splash GX, you need a lot of energies to use this attack. If this Pokemon has at least 7 extra water energy attached to it, this attack is going to do 100 damage to each of your opponent's benched Pokemon. So this is basically Magikarp's attack in a way, where you can actually do 10 for 1 if you want to, and you waste your GX like a loser. So don't do that. But if you go the extra mile and put 7 extra water energies, so 8 water energies to use this attack, you can basically do 100 damage to each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So that's essentially, with a full bench, you doing 510 damage total. Now that's certainly high damage. Even for 8 energy, you can't say it's bad. But if something like Necrozma GX can do like 100 to any GX, and you can do hundreds of damage just with 3 energy, I feel like this isn't that good. So there's probably better GX attacks, definitely, not probably, to use instead of Towering Splash GX. But I definitely see this card being kind of good with Super Splash and, you know, the 300 HP. Busted, man. Alright, then we got some Squirtles and the Blastoise. So this Squirtle has Shell Float. If you have a Stadium card in play, this Pokemon has no retreat cost. Pretty handy, not gonna lie. And we got the Squirtle with 70 HP. It's not gonna have anything special, just higher HP. Pretty fair. Then we got a Wartortle. Wartortle, yeah. And you don't do anything special either, okay. And then we got the Blastoise. And this basically is a sort of newer, a new sort of version for Blastoise to accelerate water energy. It's a water energy acceleration Blastoise, but not the one you think. As opposed to having the Rain Dance it usually has, this Pokemon lets you reveal the top 6 cards of your deck and attach as many energy as you find there. Then you shuffle the remaining cards back in your deck. So this gives you a way to sort of get the cards from the deck, so you don't have to grab them in the hand with cards like Professor's Letter, if you're going to use this in Expanded. But, you know, you could, you know, miss or just see a couple. It's definitely not bad though, like, especially if you have at least 2, which usually this is what you want to do. You don't want to have just one of your stage 2 accelerator, energy accelerator guys. You're basically revealing like 12 energies. So 12 cards, I mean. So you should see like a couple of energies, man. Are you gonna be that unlucky? And its attack is pretty solid too, doing 150 for 3, and you do 30 damage to yourself, but 150 is pretty respectable. So it's basically another good Blastoise card, Energy Acceleration Blastoise card. 160 HP is good. The 3 retreat, it's kind of typical for a big guy like this. And I definitely see this card seen play in Standard as well, as opposed to when I was talking about Moltres. Because, I mean, it definitely helps you, I guess, if you want to pair this with maybe Wailord. It's one of the methods you can accelerate energy on that guy. But there's probably other Pokemon that could make better use of this guy, like perhaps Lapras GX, perhaps, I don't know, we have a bunch of good water Pokemon. Lots of guys. So, yeah, good Blastoise card indeed. Psyduck and Golduck. Okay, interesting. So this guy has Headache. You flip a coin. If heads, your opponent cannot play a trainer card from their hand during their next turn. So this is a throwback to the Psyduck from Fossil, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it came in Fossil. But basically, prevented your opponent from using trainers. It was like the OG Seismitoad EX, the OG Manectric EX, to be precise. It didn't do damage, but it definitely prevented your opponent from playing trainers, so it was a great slowdown card in a way. And this, they decided, hey, let's give you 10 damage, but the effect is going to be busted, so you have to flip a coin and get heads to have the effect off. And it's a good thing that they did this because being able to make a trainer lock so easily with just any energy, even on a 60 HP Pokemon like this, would have been busted. So thank God for that. And then next up, Golduck. You have Amnesia. Amnesia, usually what it does is that you select an attack on your opponent and then they can't use that attack. So it's kind of useful sometimes if your opponent only has one attack on a Pokemon, like they just have an ability and one attack. But we don't really see this that much these days. Usually Pokemon have an ability and 2 attacks, or they have, I don't know, like 3 attacks. It's not so great, Amnesia, as it was in the past. And Swim, if any of your opponent's Pokemon has any water energy attached to it, you may do the damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon rather than the active. So I guess if any of your opponent's Pokemon has any water energy, you can perform this as a snipe. Is this the effect, or do you just need water energy on this dude to use the effect? I'm not sure, because a lot of the times with these Cerebi scans and Pokebeach scans, they have errors in this translation, so maybe the effect is you need a water energy because it's all colorless too. But you never know. Maybe your opponent needs to have. Nevertheless, doing 90 for 3 is not good, even if it's a snipe. Now, if it was a 2 energy attack, maybe it would have been a little better, but not really. So, not bad, I guess. Or actually, no, it would have been a not bad if it was for 2. With 3, I think it's kind of too weak. Okay. Staryu and Starmie. Wait, there's Staryu but no Starmie, so I'm guessing it's a Psychic Pokemon over here. About time. So, come on, Staryu. Water Numbness. Flip a coin. Paralysis. Okay. Magikarp and Gyarados. Dragon Gate. If heads, move a Pokemon that evolves from this Pokemon from Disc Paw. Okay, that's interesting. So this is basically a coin flip attack. If you get heads, you can evolve into Gyarados from the Disc Paw. Okay, can be handy. And we have another Gyarados card. It seems you have quite a couple in Sun and Moon so far. This guy has Big Gift. Look at the top 7 cards of your deck. For each water energy found, this attack does 30 more damage. Then discard all other cards and shuffle the water energy into the deck. Wow. So it kind of gives me some Feraligatr vibes, but not really. You don't discard the water energies, you discard the other cards, and then you shuffle the water energy. So basically, you sacrifice the rest of your deck to make this attack even more consistent. Like you're losing non-water energy cards from your deck, and then slowly but surely, using this attack, eventually you're gonna be revealing only water energies, and you can do high damage. So let's see, if you reveal, let's say 3 water energies, it's gonna do 120 for 1. That's not bad. You gotta remember this attack works with 1 energy. And let's say you get the max value, you reveal 7. 7 times 3, that's 210. So this is an attack that has the potential to get big one-hit knockouts on anything. So what you can actually do is, wow, there was a troll deck back in black and white days where you could just run the Dragon's Exalted Rayquaza and just run energies so that you instantly power him up with his first attack, and then you can start getting one-hit knockouts like that and surprise your opponent. Maybe you can try and do something like this, run Magikarp and Gyarados and then only water energies, and then you only reveal water energies and do shitloads of damage. That could be fun. But this is definitely a good Pokemon so far. And then Hyper Beam, you do 100 for 3 and then discard an energy to your opponent's active Pokemon. Another solid attack. So nice little stage 1 water Pokemon. Gyarados cards usually don't disappoint. So pretty good. I like the art on it too. Cool. Okay, Lapras, what up? Haven't seen this concept art for a while. Glad. 130 HP, good HP. You do Confuse Ray, opponent's active Pokemon is not confused. And then Hydro Pump. This attack is going to do 30 more damage for each water energy attached to this Pokemon. Okay, so let me do some maths here. If you have 3 on, it does 90 and 100. So I guess it's kind of like a weaker Keldeo attack, but you can start attacking immediately. So maybe it's not so bad. I mean, when it comes to these Hydro Pump attacks, I really just want to have a good multiplier and don't really care about the cost. I'd rather have a bigger cost and just a better multiplier rather than be able to start using this immediately, but then it's a weaker card eventually. And usually that's what they do to balance the attack out. I mean, if they made this Hydro Pump work like one of the Swampert's Hydro Pumps, let's say, it would have been unfair. So it's a good attack, but maybe there's better options for a basic water Pokemon attacker in Dex. I mean, Volcanion Prism is already better, and there's maybe other Pokemon, but maybe you can use this, it's not bad. Hydro Pump is pretty good, maybe you can start using it early. If you want to, that can be handy. We got Articuno next. Cool. Yeah, looks pretty cool, just like Moltres. Blizzard Veil, your bench Pokemon are affected by the effects of your opponent's support cards. Oh my god, this card is a miracle. Love it. So this is going to be my new Mime. Since we don't have Mime, I'll be happy to run this card. Just to make my Pokemon immune to fucking Guzma. That is going to be great. So thank you Articuno for this ability. This is great. You best believe people are going to run this just to be immune to Guzma. And Guzma is probably going to be seeing less play. Because this card makes that guy useless basically. For sure. And it blocks any effects from supporter cards. But wait, no. I think, yeah, I see a water energy in the ability in the Japanese text, so it's probably going to have a condition. Yeah, I knew it was too good to be true. So I'm guessing the actual effect will be something like any of your Pokemon that have water energies on are immune to supporters. But this is still going to be good in water decks. But I think that's what the case is going to be because I see the little water energy icon in the ability text. So once again, take these translations with a grain of salt because usually Cerebi makes a lot of mistakes. I've read a lot of cards plenty of times and I'm thinking, wow, busted, and then it's not the actual effect. And then Cold Cyclone, you do, well, for 2 water energy, another error. You do 70 damage, and then you discard 2 water energy from this Pokemon and switch it with one of your bench Pokemon. Okay. Not very good damage output, especially because you discard it too. But if you're going to use this Pokemon, you're probably going to use it for the ability. I'm guessing it has something to do with this blocking of supporter cards with Pokemon with water energies and stuff. Or maybe only your water Pokemon, your bench water Pokemon. Something like that. Decent stats for a basic Pokemon, of course, since this is a legendary. Final resistance. Good dude as well. There you are. And then we have the Pikachu Zekrom GX dude. I guess it's coming in here. It's not gonna come as a like a collection box promo or something. This is the first card I reviewed when I was talking about Pikachu and Zekrom, and we got our first taste on what these cards are gonna be. This card is definitely strong. With full blitz, you search your deck for up to 3 lightning energy cards attached into one of your Pokemon, and you do 150. So this is an excellent Pokemon to combine with Magnezone, the Lightning Magnezone. Even like an expand, you use this with something like, I mean, I guess Ray Ills is not going to be as efficient, but you could try. And then Tack Bolt GX, you do 200 for 3, and if this Pokemon has at least 3 extra, you can do 170 to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. And now this is definitely a very strong, costly, but certainly an excellent attack for GX on a attack team, or an attack team GX Pokemon. Damn. And Tack Bolt is actually the name of this set, so I guess has a little trademark here. But yeah, doing 470 damage for 6 energy total. Sign me up. It's not impossible. Basically knocking out a Pokemon in the active position and then getting a powerful, possibly another knockout on a GX Pokemon on the bench is just too good. It's definitely worthy to spend your GX attack on an attack like this. It's massive damage. And if you don't want to do it, doing 200 for 3 energy, it's still good. It has 240 HP, not as good as the other guys, but it's still high. You can use Max Potion with this. Excuse me. No problems. And it's a great card. Now, the fighting weakness, of course, it's something that the fighting Pokemon are going to be able to take advantage of, so that puts it in a sort of check. So, in a way, that's sort of good. But man, this card is going to be able to use Electro Power too, so you can boost your damage even further. And, you know, Lightning Pokemon, it has that fighting weakness, but it has a lot of support for sure, definitely, with the Lost Thunder cards. It's such another very powerful card. It's going to give 3 prizes. And, yeah, you use Max Potion, maybe try and play this late game, you know, play it down when your opponent only needs to get 1 prize. Maybe they used a bunch of their Guzmas and you sort of force them to get another big knockout like this on a Pokemon like this, what I meant to say. And this is how you use this sort of big Attack Team GX Pokemon. I would say it's the best. It's probably going to be the best way to use them. Okay, next up we got Geodudes, little Geodudes. You do self-destruct. Okay, so 60 damage, but you kill yourself too. And then the other dude, 70 HP charge. Set your deck for up to 2 lightning energy and attach them to this Pokemon. Okay, this one seems better in every way. It's got the clay art too. Yay, cool. Love this sort of art. It's like a clay art on a realistic background sort of thing. Cool. Now, next up we got Alolan Graveler. You also do... Oh, no, wait. You're Geodude again. Why did I click on that card? You do Rollout, 30 for free. And Electro Slug, 100 for 4. And then what do you got, Golem? So 180 HP. Fuck me, this guy's big. So even bigger than the Guardians Rising, I think. Alolan Golem with 160. This guy blows that out of the water. With Magnet Bomber, you may move as many lightning energy from your bench Pokemon to this Pokemon as you'd like. For each energy move this way, this attack does 20 more damage. Cool. So this is definitely something that screams Dynamo or Electric synergy, but at the same time, you're going to need a lot of energies to get one-hit knockout, so... I mean, I don't know. I guess if I've got 3 of those guys, I grab 3, manually attach 1. That's 4. It's not so great, but then again, it is a costless attack. Super Zap Cannon. This seems to be the real attack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have 5 energy. You do 190, then you discard 2 energy. So another dude that does high damage and you discard energy cards. But, you know, what's the point of using this with Magnezone instead of something like, like even Electivire that does 200 and you discard 3. Even that guy's better. So, on its own, you probably can't work. Combined with something like Magnezone, you're going to be impossible to set up. So it's an unfortunate Pokemon that does have potential, you know, on some of its, you know, its HP is good, the attacks are solid. But you really have no partner to work with. I'm sorry, Golem, once again. It's too bad. Next up, we got Voltorb. Now, come on, I think they've beaten this art for Voltorb to death. They've been really taking the piss, reusing it all the time. I'm pretty sure this is the same concept art they used in Celestial Storm. So why the fuck are they recycling it again? Okay, just does tackle, 20 for 1. Electrode. This is a Yarn 1. Awesome. Eleki Shaker. When you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve, you may move any number of lightning energy from your Pokemon to your other Pokemon any way you like. So I guess this is going to be used with Golem, but yeah, no chance in hell. You gotta get the lightning energies in play. You don't just, if you're gonna move them around, you need them. You need a lot of them in play in the first place for this to be significant. Anyway, I guess it's something that could come up, an ability, moving energies around. You want to have this ability always around, not when you evolve into this Pokemon. So hopefully it's like a Aromatisse, and it's not like when you evolve. Otherwise, it's weak like that. Yeah. Gengar and Mimikyu GX. What's good? So, Gengar. I mean, we've seen you in Crimson Invasion, but it does seem like it's been a bit, let's say. And it has Poltergeist, Gengar stuff. Your opponent reveals your hand, 50 damage for each trainer card you find there. Now, thank God this is not. It's not going to be. Oh, wait, actually. Oh my God, it says trainer. It doesn't say item, so. I was about to say thank God it doesn't say it's only going to be for items, not just stadiums and supporters, but it seems like this is going to be for supporters and stadiums. Shit. Wow. Unless there's an error, this attack is going to do insane damage. So with 3, you do 150 for 2. Okay, but if you have at least 4, then it becomes busted. With 4, you start getting insane knockouts for free. And then Horror House GX, 1 Psychic Energy plus. Your opponent can't play any cards from their hand during their next turn. This Pokemon has at least 1 extra Psychic Energy. Each player draws cards until they have 7 cards in their hand. Oh my god. So basically what this attack says is use your GX attack to make sure your Poltergeist is insane. And you stop your opponent anyway, because if they can't play cards from their hand, they can only attack basically. So it's not even like you waste your turn stalling them out. It's like you stall them out and they're really stuck. Lock them out from doing much. And you can even have them draw cards to make Poltergeist even more effective and fill your own hand. So this Pokemon, God, we might see Gengar coming back as a powerful competitive Pokemon. Psychic support is pretty rich. You can search this with Mystery Treasure. We've got a few cards like Altar of the Moon, which help it out with Retreat. Damn, it seems strong. I'm trying to think if there's a good Pokemon that can lock out abilities, but lock out trainers in hand, I mean, or items, at least something like that. But really, the only thing you can do is combine this with Vileplume from Ancient Origins, and then you've got your classic Volgar deck coming back. So maybe that's cool. I bet people are gonna try and do that, use that sort of strategy. It should be fun at the very least. Maybe I'll try it myself if I get this card. I've got plenty of Vileplumes, never got to use them. So, sounds about right. So another powerful GX dude, 240 HP. Nidorans, what's up? Got this female right here. Call for family. Looking pretty cute there. I'm not usually a fan of this sort of sticker art. Pretty simplistic art, but it looks okay in this case. You got Nidorina. This one looks much better. Family Rescue. Reveal 5 Psychic Pokemon from your disc or pile. Put them into your deck. Okay. And that can be a good recovery attack. And then Nidoqueen. I hope you're good, because I really love Nidoqueen. I like Nidoqueen more than Nidoking. Used to be the opposite back in the day, but I like its stat distribution better in the games. It also seems more like it seems more of a real ground poison Pokemon. I don't know, maybe it's just I associate it with Giovanni as a gym leader. Anyway, Mother Call. Once during your turn, you may search your deck for 1 Pokemon, excluding GX, reveal it, put it into your hand. Holy shit. This isn't Pidgeot, but I mean, yeah, this isn't Pidgeot. So yeah, it probably. I don't know. I mean, it's still search your deck for any Pokemon. It excludes GX and EX, so that might suck. especially since it's stage 2, but you can grab any Pokemon. That's still good. That can be handy, at least if you, to help yourself, I guess. Help yourself as a Nidoqueen deck, if you run a stage 2 deck like this. And then Power Lariat. This attack does 50 more damage for each Pokemon on your bench. So classic Nidoqueen stuff. I don't know, is it any Pokemon on your bench? If you have a full bench, 5 times 5, 250. Wow, that's 260. Okay, so I have a feeling there's no way this is the effect because I don't think they would make it so busted. It's not in them to make these regular stage 2 Pokemon so strong these days. Working with any energy too. So I don't think so. If it does, if this is the actual effect, then consider this the best stage 1, the best stage 2 non-GX Pokemon for sure. Nidoqueen is gonna get our throne back as the stage 2 Pokemon like in the Queendom days. But I have a feeling they have to be evolved Pokemon. I mean, it kind of makes sense with Mother Call too. That's my feeling. But if not, and it's just any Pokemon on the bench, then it's extremely strong. 50 more damage. I mean, fuck. That's... I mean, if you have 5 Pokemon on the bench, that's freaking 250, man. I feel like it's too strong to be true. It's too good to be true, but you never know. Maybe they're finally going to go crazy on stage 2 Pokemon like this. And you know what? I'll be happy if they do. I want to see a top deck again, like be a completely non-GX deck. Because it feels like forever since we've seen something like this. And the Greninja deck doesn't really do it for me, so sorry guys, if you're gonna mention Greninja. Alright, who's next? Nidoran. This guy has better art than the Nidorina, than the Nidoran, the female one, I mean. Like this sort of natural art. Okay, next up we got Nidorino. If my computer cooperates. You don't do much either. Nidoking, what you got? 160 HP. Drago off, must mean drag off. Switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon with his or her active Pokemon. 50 damage to the new Pokemon. So this is a pulling attack and you do 50 for a DC. I wish it was like at least 70. That would have been much better. And then King Drum if you have Nidoqueen on your bench. This attack does 200 damage. So pretty good. But I mean, if you're running Nidoqueen, you might as well just run a full Nidoqueen deck and you do more damage with her rather than this guy. So it makes me feel like there's something off about that Nidoqueen card. There's probably an error. But Nidoqueen and Nidoking, they work together again. And how much HP do you have? You've got 160 HP too. Okay. So Tentacool and Tentacruel. Don't do anything. What about you, Tentacruel? Void Tentacles. Your opponent's active Pokemon is confused and poisoned. And Paranormal. During your opponent's next turn, this Pokemon will not receive damage from your opponent's Ultra Beast attacks. So another Pokemon that's sort of an Ultra Beast counter. Damn. I mean, Sabotage, the one that comes from Celestial Storm, didn't really do much of shit. I don't know if this guy's going to be better because it's in the form of an attack and it's a psychic Pokemon and you just attack at least and you get the effect. But you can poison the opponent too with the first attack, I guess. I don't know. I feel like besides Alolan Ninetales GX attack that instantly knocks out an Ultra Beast, we haven't received a lot of real Ultra Beast hate like in Team Plasma. Like if this Pokemon had like an attack that, let's say, you do 80 damage, and if it's an Ultra Beast, you do 80 more, so that's 160, and then you slap a Choice Band and you can get one-hit knockouts on things like Blazeflon, then yeah, maybe I would have seen it being teched out in some decks like, let's say maybe Malamar, because it's a Psychic Pokemon too. But just, being invincible, maybe that's not going to be enough. Excuse me. There's always Guzma. around. Okay, Grimer, you do absolutely nothing. Okay, and then Muck. As long as this Pokemon is in play, your opponent's Pokemon don't recover from poison, even if they evolve or devolve. Okay, that's cool. You know what? I really wish they brought an effect that even if you're benched, you can keep a status condition. It's something we've never seen. Maybe it makes stuff complicated, but I feel like that would have been really cool. But no, this guy just, you don't, uh, Pokemon that evolve or devolve don't lose poison. Anyway, and then Toxic Secretion. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now poison, 1 for 40. I guess it's decent. You can use this with the Survivors once again and have a little stage 1 rogue deck. Okay, then we got the Psychic Starmie. What up, Starmie? Got Free Retreat, but only 8 HP, won't do you much. Strange Wave. Search your deck for up to 3 Water or Psychic Energy and attach them to one of your bench Pokemon. Then shuffle your deck. Questioning whether this is, once again, attach the energies or add them to your hand, because you also do 40 for 1, so it might be too good to be true. But then again, this is kind of slow. I mean, this only works if you play first, so, you know, at least you've got the start you active, then you evolve in your next turn, you can attack and get energies. But, I mean, the Alolan Marowak that basically grabs you energies from the deck for free, you don't even have to attach an energy to use it, didn't do shit, and that has even higher HP. So this, you know, limiting yourself to water or psychic, granted you get 3 and then you also do damage, but it's not really anything special. It's too slow. There's better methods to accelerate energy, I would say. Maybe it's going to do something. It's going to see play in some decks that require a touch like this, but I mean, there's even fucking Shuckle, so you might as well just go with that. It's a basic Pokemon at least. Okay, too bad. I was hoping since we're gonna get a Psychic Starmie, we would have gotten a good Starmie, but no. Mr. Mime, and no, you don't have the bench barrier. I miss bench barrier. Has counterfeit. As long as this Pokemon is in play, your opponent cannot return any of their Pokemon with damage counters. Oh my god. Okay, so this is like Articuno. It has a really revolutionary ability that really just fucks with a huge strategy. So what this does is that your opponent's Acerolas are useless. They can't return Pokemon with damage counters back into their hand. So those strategies are useless if you got this guy around. So that's good. I might actually use this. Yeah, if we can't use Articuno to be immune to Guzma, I'm going to use this to make my opponent not use Acerola, because it always sucks when they do this and they screw you over. It means that you want to get one hit knockouts just to be safe a lot of the times. So good. I always, you know, kind of like Mr. Mime. I mean, I don't love, it's not one of my favorite Pokemon, but I've grown a fondness to him, using him in the TCG forever, basically. It's one of those Pokemon that's always in my decks ever since the bench barrier Mime got released in Plasma Storm. So yeah, this one has cool art as well, and I'll be happy to include them in my decks when it comes out, just to fuck over my opponent with their Acerolas. I mean, maybe it's not that of a useful effect as having complete bench protection, but I guess it's something. And at least its attack can be used with any energy, I guess. Wish it worked with 1 energy and you did 1 for 20 with paralysis. Jinx. How fitting to be next to Mime. Anyway, Dazzle Dance. Okay, Confusion and a Coin Flip, not good. And Mysterious Dance. Move as many damage counters as you like from your opponent's bench Pokemon to your opponent's active Pokemon. So some... I mean, why the fuck would you do this? There's the Tapu Lele, the Psychic one that moves damage counters in any way, so I think that's better. We got Monkey and Primeape. Your opponent reveals their hand. And Primeape only have 90 HP. Low kick, does 30 for 1. Buzzwole does 30 for 1, man. This should have done like 1 for 50. If you're gonna have a chance to be like a fighting Pokemon that's not gonna be inferior completely to Buzzwole. And then Wreck, there's a Stadium card in play. This attack does 80 more damage, so 160 for 3. It can be a solid attack, I guess, with a Choice Band and Diancie, that's 210, so that's not bad. The second attack definitely has more merit. 90 HP is quite low, though. I mean, the Primeape looks like almost like it's fucking fluffy in this art. Like it's a fucking quillfish. Yeah, like a spiky dude. Then we got Hitmonlee. Yeah, haven't seen you in a while. My favorite dude from the Hitmon trio. Special combo. This attack cannot be used unless your Hitmonchan used Hit and Away during your last turn. 90 damage to an opponent's bench Pokemon. Why do you have this limitation? And then Mega Kick 90 for 3. I just wish it did like a 40 for 1 snipe. That would have been better. Why, Hitmonlee? Can't you be as good as Hitmonchan? At least Hitmonchan was good in the past. I've had a few times when it was good. Hit and Away. You may switch this Pokemon one of your bench Pokemon. Yeah, I don't like this guy. Oh shit, fossils, but unfortunately they've never been good. We got Amanet Nomastar, one of my favorites. You got Tickle. Man, they insist on making these fossil Pokemon just be completely generic. Like this is a generic stage 1 Pokemon with no like merit to it. It's got a shitty ass attack, shitty ass HP. It's a fighting Pokemon, which is the first time we've seen a Amanid Namastar be fighting dudes, so that's cool. And what do? Fossilize. As long as you have less Pokemon to play than your opponent cannot play goods cards from their hand. So I'm guessing that's items. So this can be powerful. This is basically item lock. So maybe you're gonna use this with Gengar and Standard, I guess. If it's goods, I'm pretty sure it's items in Japan, like that's their equivalent. It's either that or it's tools. It might be just tools, so it won't be as strong. But nevertheless, HP isn't impressive. Attacks isn't impressive. It's just like they always do. They try a little bit with fossils, like they did some stuff with Rampardos, but that Pokemon didn't do shit, and they're not even that great for all the trouble you have to go through to get them out. And then they say, okay, fuck it, these guys don't work, and then they go back and make them shit. This Pokemon is shit in every way, stat-wise, attack-wise, and the ability doesn't seem that good. It has a cost already. It's not like you instantly lock out your opponent's goods, whatever that is. And if that is just tools, not items, then it becomes even more weak. So very disappointed once again. And fuck me if I'm wrong, but Kabutops is probably going to be better because they always have this sort of favoritism with Kabutops. They give Omastar the short end of the stick and they make Kabutops always better. Even if it's shit, it's still going to be probably better than Omastar. So this guy's the Shell Ram. During your opponent's next turn, this Pokemon receives 20 less damage. So see, better. You do 40 as opposed to 30, and then you block 20 damage. So Kabuto is already better. Damn it. And Kabutops, it's got 140 HP. Much better. And look, a better ability already. Fossil Memory, your opponent cannot play supporter cards from their hand. So, now this is an ability that's good. Now, this is something that I'm saying that's what I'm talking about. You doesn't say that it has to be active, so that's good. So supporter lock. It's gonna be a pain to get this dude out, but that's what it is. And you best believe people are gonna use Maxi to get this out and expand it, and then Nintendo's probably gonna ban this as opposed to banning Maxi, which was what they should ban, and Archie. And Rock Slide 80 damage, and then it does 20 damage to 2 of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So it's a shit attack as well, but still much better than Omastar's. Damn you, Nintendo, for favoritism on this dude. I mean, I've got nothing against Kabutops. I like Kabutops, but they just always make Omastar shittier, and that sucks. Anyway, enough with this hate rant now. Okay. Oh shit. Latios and Latias GX. I didn't know this card existed. Fuck me. Please be good. Some of my favorite Pokemon. So 250 HP basic Pokemon. Not bad. Water Psychic combo. Oh shit. Buster Purge. 240 damage. And then you discard just 3 energy. Works with Psychic and Water. So, fuck me. This is going to be my replacement for Malamar. I can't wait to use this. I'm going to use this instead of Necrozma now. Get one hit knockouts even easier than usual. And the water energy doesn't matter because I'm used to playing with Rayquaza EX anyway. I know how to build a deck like that. So really, really cool. And man, it's just, it reminds me of the Dragon Cure from the Dragon's Vault way back in the day that I used when I didn't have a lot of cards on Blastoise, and that was cool. Water Psychic. It's the same idea. Latios EX, Plasma Freeze. It's good stuff. I'm definitely going to use this Pokemon. An Aero Unit GX. Attach 5 basic energy cards from discard power to your Pokemon any way you like. So it's self-sufficient. You can even use this to power this guy up. And if this Pokemon has at least 1 extra energy attached to it, in addition to this attack cost, prevent all effects of attacks, including damage done. Wow. These cards are really strong. I mean, yeah, a Pokemon like this and Gengar, they make the other GXs kind of look like shit. Like Venusaur and Wailord, they probably don't compare to a Pokemon like this. So you can basically make yourself immune and get energies. It's quite strong and much cheaper. Like, it only needs 2 energy to do this. It's not like the other Tag Team GX where they say it needs to be +8 and shit. Very, very good. Love it. My beloved Latias. Great. Then we got a Dragon, a little Exeggutor. Wow, this art looks so bad that it's good. I don't know how to explain it any better. These fucking ugly ass eggs. Anyway. Paradise Draw. Discard as many cards as you wish, then draw until you have 6. At least it's costless, but then again, this is a stage 1. At least it's got high HP, so it might take a hit. And then dropped egg. Discard as many executes. Oh no. My god. Discard as many executes from your hand. For each execute discarded, this attack does 60 more damage. I knew it. This is like an indicator that they're not gonna be banning the fucking Plasma Freeze Execute anytime soon. So you can actually make another Exeggutor variant of a deck. Run the Plasma Freeze Exeggutor. Discard 3 of those. You're at 180. Slap a Choice Band. Get 1 hit knockouts. You discard 4. You get 1 hit knockouts anyway. So it's unfair. It's strong. It's busted. And the only reason it's so fucking strong is because Execute's propagation effect is unfair. It's a loop effect. It shouldn't exist the way it does. I don't care what anyone says. This is basically like Vile Eggs, just stronger. You use a better Pokemon than the Weavile. You've got more HP. The cost is kind of the same. I mean, I think Weavile needed a DC to make the attack work, but don't quote me. Maybe you needed Darkness and a Colorless to use it. But this attack is stronger. Your Pokemon has more HP. And you'll even evolve from Execute, I guess, so you won't have them maxed out in hand. But there's Ditto too. There's just so many variables. I don't like this Pokemon. We got Dratini. Okay, 60 damage if you get double heads. Zoom in art in the face, not good. And then Scale Charm with this Dratini. This Pokemon is not subject to the effects of your opponent's attacks. What the fuck does that mean? Does that mean it's protected on the bench, or it doesn't? No, I think it's just, yeah, you're immune to effects of attacks. Okay. This is the better one, I'd say. Dragonair, Twister. Okay, don't do anything. And then Dragonite, 160 HP. It's got a 120 attack. Lightning, water, and colorless is not impressive. And then Fast Call. Okay, I think I know where this is going. Once during your turn, you may search your deck for a supporter card, reveal it, put it into your hand. Not quite Pidgeot, but this is definitely almost the same as the Staraptor level X, which a lot of you probably don't even know what that card is. An old card from Supreme Victors. It's still a strong effect. You get a supporter card. Question is, do you want to get an effect like this in a stage 2? Get a stage 2 just to get this effect? I mean, there's Tapu Lele GX, there's other Pokemon. So I don't know. If it actually had a good attack, it would have been a different story. But maybe if you use this with Dragonite GX together, like that might be, like you get this guy out first and then you helps you get out your other guys quicker. Perhaps. And man, we still got a long way to go. Eevee and Snorlax GX. This Pokemon is 270 HP, is very strong. Cheer Up. Attach an energy card from your hand to one of your Pokemon. Yeah, that's shit. I remember this. I read this on the Amino. And then Dump Truck Press. Stack does 120 for 4, not 1 like it says here. And if it's an evolution Pokemon, 240. Now this is a good attack for sure. It means that you get one hit knockouts on stage 1 GX Pokemon, and with a choice band you even take care of a stage 2 GX Pokemon. And Megadon Friends GX, if this Pokemon has at least 1 extra energy, so 5, you draw cards until you have 10. And this is also a good attack. 210 for sure, 210 for 4, you get a knockout on a big Pokemon, and then with 1 extra you can draw until you have 10 too. So good, not bad. Only the first attack is kind of shit. Works with any energy. You can slap DCs on this dude and use the attack. This might be a good general tag team GX, I'd say. Take care of the stage GX Pokemon. Man, it just seems like we're gonna go back to basic GXs being the shit with these guys. Okay, and then we got Pidgey. It does collect. Pidgeotto is the interesting one, actually. Let's look at this Pidgey. Okay. This is the interesting one. Aeromail, once during your turn, you may look at the top 2 cards of your deck and put one of them into your hand, put the other one at the bottom of your deck. So this is the effect of Pokedex, the Pokedex Handy 1-0, whatever the fuck it was from Diamond and Pearl, Pokedex. It's a good little draw effect. It basically lets you draw a card, but you actually have the option to choose of the top 2, so maybe you can get the second one if the first one isn't so great. And it has 60 HP, which is kind of unusual on a stage 1 like this, Pidgeotto. But I guess they might have done this to make it compatible with Elm. This way you can use Elm to grab this Pokemon too, and then you have like a sort of a mini stage 1 engine, I guess, like the Skiploom family. Draw a few cards with this, I don't know. Only if you run a Pidgeot deck, perhaps. And then Pidgeot, it's a little bit interesting too. 130 HP isn't that great, but at least it has for retreat. Whirlwind, your opponent switches the defending Pokemon or bench Pokemon, you do 60 for 2. So 60 for 1 DC, and your opponent has a switch, they get to choose. Spin Storm, you put your opponent's active Pokemon and no cards attached to the hand. Now, it does need 3 energies, which is costly, and it goes back in the hand, not in the deck. which isn't so good. I think there's actually, like Staraptor did this, put the stuff back in the deck, I think. So I think that's better. So I don't see this Pokemon doing very well, even though the art is kind of cool. Reminds me of the old Swellow from EX Ruby and Sapphire, you know, sitting on a branch. It's too bad. Pidgeotto is kind of good. If only they make Pidgeot kind of decent too. Who knows? Maybe we have like a Pidgeot GX or something. I don't know. Got the Meowth. Concept art in Persian. Embrace. If you have 4 more cards in your hand, look at your opponent's hand. Discard all cards. They'll have 4 cards in hand. Okay. So a hand disruptor, dude. If you have 4 or more cards in your hand, so you need to have a few cards in hand if the effect. Oh no. It's probably your opponent needs to have 4 or more cards to do this, and then you discard it until they have 4 cards. And you do 20. Okay, whatever. And then 30 for 2, and then it can be 60 with coin flip. Okay, shit. Far-fetched. Oh, come on. Draw 2 cards, collect, and then tool repel. Before doing damage, discard any Pokemon tool. And then if a card was discarded this way, 70 more damage. So I guess if you use this against an opponent's Pokemon that has a tool, you can do 90 for 1. Respectable. This is a small basic Pokemon though with 80 HP. It can be handy though, like a good generic little attacker. Works with any energy. Final resistance is handy too in our metagame. And then Kangaskhan. What do you got? It has fast evolution. You search your deck for 2 evolution cards, put them into your hand, and shuffle your deck. Now, why the fuck would you do this when Alone Vulpix can get you any Pokemon for costless? Yeah, it has 60 HP, but it's just so great being able to do it for free. And now that nowadays Alone Vulpix can evolve into the Alolan Ninetales that gets you trainers too, so items, I guess. It's not so good. The 130 HP isn't so good, and Mega Punch doesn't do much either. Too bad. And then Tauros, haven't seen you in a long while. I hope it's good. Angry Herd, it's gonna do 10 more damage for each damage counter on each of your Tauros and Tauros GX in play. Okay, that's cool. So it works out with the Tauros GX. Kind of a forgotten card. It actually is one of the actual full arts that I like. I think it looks cool as a full art. Non-secret rare, of course. But people can play around this sort of rage effect. It's good when you have it on a Pokemon that can do some other stuff, I guess, but on a Pokemon like this, 130 HP is good. Shit. Maybe, I guess, if you combine it with something like Giratina and Malamar, it might be something. It's just a rage attack, though. I mean, you need a bunch of hurt dudes for this to work. I guess you can use Tauros GX, a bunch of Tauros GXs, and use the Shrine, damage yourself, and then your damage will build up. But, I mean, I wish it did like a little bit more base damage at the very least. It does 10. I guess it gets the rage from everybody. It might be something like, maybe I might figure out a way to make a deck with this rage strategy. That won't be very good, but it might be something. And you can definitely try it out, I guess, the rage tactic. Put damage counters on yourself and then try and do high damage for 2 energy. Aerodactyl. I'm guessing you're gonna suck too since you're a fossil. 130 HP, at least that's not so bad. Supersonic, shit attack, and then Fossil Fang, 90 damage. More if your opponent's active Pokemon is a Pokemon GX or Pokemon EX. So 180 for 3 on a GX Pokemon or EX Pokemon. So this is a respectable attack at the very least. It works with any energy too, which is good on Aerodactyl. Maybe this might not be so bad since Aerodactyl is one of those fossils that evolve. They don't need to evolve twice. So who knows? Maybe this might be a decent little tech. Who knows? You slap an energy and a DC, and then you can do 180. Good counter damage on GX and EX Pokemon. Don't even have to be Ultra Beast. You do this on everybody. Who knows? We might see this actually see play. So they made Aerodactyl kind of good at the very least. And finally, we're almost finished. I don't want these to be too long. We got an Escape Rope reprint. We got Judge Whistle. Pick one of the following. Draw a card or place a judge from your discard pile into your hand. If it has the draw a card effect, I'm going to be happy and sad because all of the Turbo, Night March, Lost March, and other fucked up ass decks are going to love this card. It helps out any deck. And the Judge effect, you know, that can be handy, I guess, for people that run Judge. You get a Judge back. It's like a VS Seeker for Judge. But I hope it doesn't just say draw a card and it's a different effect because, yeah, it's good that we have a sort of a upstart Goblin if you play Yu-Gi-Oh card like that, or we just draw a card like Pokedex. But cards like these are too busted these days. Like Acrobike, even though it discards the other card, you see it see play for a reason. It's just it's a good card to just have straight draw like that. So who knows? But if it's just draw a card, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be better than Acrobike. Unidentified fossil reprint, Ultra Ball reprint, Rare Candy reprint, Pokemon Communication. It seems this is coming back. I don't think we have this around in Standard. I could be wrong though. But this is your basic. Put a Pokemon from your hand to your deck, then you get any Pokemon. So this is good in decks that run big Pokemon lines that have a lot of Pokemon like 19 or 20 or more. And then bodybuilding pads. If the retreat cost of the Pokemon this card is attached to is 4, the Pokemon gets 50 HP. So you want to make fucking Snorlax and shit like Wailord even more busted. Thank you very much. Yeah, 50 HP to any Pokemon with 4 retreat cost. Damn. Erica's Hospitality. This is pretty cool. You can play this card only when you have fewer than 6 cards in your hand, including this one. Draw a card for each of your opponent's Pokemon to play. Yeah, I remember I read this on PokeBeach. So this card is cool because it's basically the effect of Steven's Advice, possibly my favorite supporter of all time. And it's a great supporter. This card is going to see play in all decks. You better believe that. You need to have fewer than 6 cards in hand to use it, including this one. But man, draw a card for each of your opponent's Pokemon in play, and it's straight draw. It's not shuffle and draw like Chorus. It's gonna be a great card. You're gonna see at least a couple of these in every deck. I mean, especially since we don't have a lot of great supporters that fetches a lot of cards. This card is gonna be great. And Erika, of course, is a cool chick, the traditional Japanese lady supporter from Cerulean City. I'm guessing it's gonna be a really pretty full art as well. I love me my Japanese chicks. Okay, then we got Judge reprint Cynthia. Brock's Grid is coming back. Okay. Shuffle any combination of Pokemon and basic energy cards back in the deck. Alright. Not bad. Sabrina's Implication, another really cool chick. Sabrina. Look at your opponent's hand. You may choose a supported card there and use the effect of it as this and use its effect as the effect of this card. So this is a way that you can transform this into more Cynthias or just other supporters. But you gotta keep in mind if your opponent doesn't have anything or if they have something that's useless, you're either gonna not use the effect and just waste your supporter for their turn, or just be forced to use a shitty effect. Like if your opponent only has a Guzma in hand early when you're trying to set up, that's not helping you out at all. But it's definitely interesting. This might see play in decks, especially when you can manipulate your opponent's hand, like when you can do strategies to see their hand. Yeah. this might do some ugly stuff with the Gumshoes GX. Who the fuck knows? Bill's analysis. Okay, we've got quite a few supporters here. Look at the top 7 cards of your deck. You may reveal 2 trainer cards there. Put them into your hand. Nice. Finally, an actually good Bill card. I think I said that right. Yeah, it's actually pretty good. Bill hasn't been this good since shit, the fucking EX Team Fire and Leaf Green days. And maybe Bill's maintenance wasn't even that good, honestly. But this is pretty good. You don't have the flexibility of Cynthia's advice from Supreme Victors, where you can grab any card. You can grab only trainers. But actually, when I think about it, you know, if it's trainers and not just items, then you do have some decent range. You can grab a stadium if you want to. You can grab a supporter if you want to, even. And no real cost. Look at the top 7 cards of your deck, and you get 2 cards, not just 1. So this is going to be a nice way to get some items. I think, I mean, Scala is... I feel like if Scala was around, Scala is still better than a card like this. But because we have Volkner, and that card is kind of lacking, then this might replace Volkner. It might be better. Unless you really want to get those rare candies guaranteed in some decks. If you run rare candies in stage 2 decks, then Volkner might still be better. But just using this in any deck just to help yourself fetch a bunch of trainers that aren't just items, it might be pretty good. Bill doing some shit. And then we have some stadiums here. Lavender Town. Once per turn, each player may look at the other player's hand. So yeah, I guess this goes with Sabrina. I don't like this card. Why did they make a card like this? It basically eliminates skill in the game. Looking at your opponent's hand means that you can play around their shit. So yeah, both players can do it, and this can create some cool mind games, but I don't know. It's not a card that's really cool, to put it that way. We got Viridian Forest. Once per turn, each player may discard a card from the hand, then they can search your deck for a basic energy, reveal it and put it in their hand. Okay, so what this does is it's an energy search with a cost, which is shit. But in decks like Blaziken, this is going to be a good stadium because I can, in decks with, like even, not just Blaziken, like Malamar, any deck that does like this energy acceleration from the disc pot, because you can discard energies and send them over there and then replace them with another energy. It's still technically not really a great searching card, but it might be something we have to use so that we can get energies and put energies in the disc ball that way. I feel like Shuckle is the way to go as opposed to using something like this, but it's an option. It's a stadium option at the very least. It's good that we have a lot of good stadiums. Aqua Patch reprint, so we're going to have that around, and Field Blower reprint, that's good as well. Choice Band and Volkner. Your ass is going to be around for a while, I guess. This guy looking kind of cool here, acting cool. Okay. And then these are probably going to be like the secret rare full art. I mean, what the fuck is this art? It's like this Celebi and Venusaur gonna embrace and kiss or something. Okay, whatever. I don't know if these are secret rares or if these are like the full art versions, the alternate versions. You got this wacky art here with Magikarp being blown away by Wailord's fucking whole thing. I don't know how you say that in English. Sprout thing, whatever. And then Gengar and Mimikyu. I don't know what to say about this art. Kind of weird. But anyway, and this is the tag team set, guys. Reviewed every single card. Okay, pat myself in the back. It's got a lot of very cool cards. Like, it has a lot of cards that I'm really looking forward to. My first favorite would be Moltres, but, you know, the Charizard is pretty cool. the tag team GXs, they all can do some cool shit. Blastoise, of course, is awesome. Nice to have another Blastoise. What else? Gyarados, Lapras is cool. Articuno is definitely going to be probably cool in a way. Um, Mime, Nidoqueen. I'm really curious how Nidoqueen is going to turn out. If that's the actual effect, it's going to be really strong. It might be a good balance because these tag team GX Pokemon, they might take over, I feel like. But yeah, fossil Pokemon are kind of shit, minus Aerodactyl and maybe Kabutops can do some fuck the best shit with support a lot. Can wait for Latios too. Yeah, can't forget about Latios and Latios. But yeah, cool shit all around. So this is my review, guys. I feel like I'm forgetting to say something, but it doesn't matter. We'll have other opportunities to talk about cards and stuff from this set. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys subscribe. Now is as good as time as any. My channel is an excellent TCG hub for all things Pokemon TCG. I have retro stuff and stuff that's the not recent stuff. I sound like I can't speak English. The contemporary stuff, yeah, contemporary Pokemon TCG stuff, of course, and retro stuff. And you're bound to find just something in my channel to get into. So, hope you guys enjoyed, and leave a like, share this with your friends.